pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have roll call?
Lois Tiley.
Here.
Diana Coots.
Here.
Christine Newman.
Here.
Richard Horner.
Here.
Jim McPhail.
Here.
Diane Dennis.
Here.
And Sarah Tiley. Here.
Thank you. Any adjustments to the agenda? Your motion to approve it as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Support?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted. Public comment. Do we hear anything? I mean, do we have anything? Nothing? Well, let's get right to Mr. Spicer.
All right. Well, thanks. In this box, I have 2 copies of your wastewater and your storm sewer asset management plans.
I thought they were maybe moving you out of your office.
Well, yeah, they're getting out of my office. So, but those are your wastewater and stormwater asset management plans. Again, it's the end of our 3-year project to do your asset management plans that were funded through the SAW grant. Again, we inventoried both the stormwater and the wastewater system, had pipes cleaned and televised, inspected the pump stations, had the lagoons inspected, created a GIS, got some computers for the DPW and the manager's office, got some iPads. A lot of work has gone into these. Neil Nowak is here. He's put in a lot of hours into these projects too. Hart just signed the certificate of completedness. We will get that submitted to Eagle, which is formerly DEQ, and you guys will be done with these 2 projects. So, congratulations on getting done with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And to the man behind the scenes too, I'm sure he did a
Yep.
lot of it.
So, with that, the next projects we're working on are the water main in Fulton and Hosmer. We're making good progress on that. Still plan on bidding that out. We're guessing, after the first of the year, January, get building that, depending on how winter goes, hopefully late spring, early summer. Streets asset management plan, we've been making some headway on that now that we're wrapping up this other project. Brought on another engineer, Jeff Schwartz, who's gonna be working with us doing the streets asset management plan. I'd like to get a meeting scheduled for the next week or 2 here, probably sometime before Thanksgiving, with Hart and Don and whoever else wants to attend, to talk about streets. And then we also are working on the USDA grant application, which we should be having a meeting here. We've been kind of going back and forth with RCAP and USDA trying to get some dates ready, so I'm guessing that meeting's gonna be in December sometime. But we are working with them, trying to get an initial meeting with the USDA representatives. So in the meantime, we're still working on the preliminary engineering report and the application. So, with that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I do, on your, water system asset management plan,
Yes.
this little paper,
Yep,
it says that, the report was submitted on December 27th to meet the January 2018 deadline. Is that a correct date?
that is correct. That was actually due, January 1st, 2018. That asset management plan was submitted. DEQ finally came back with some comments maybe 6 months ago.
I was gonna say, you're still waiting, it says
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah, we're not still waiting. We did get the comments. We sent in a copy of the rate study that John Kazor did for you. And you've actually received a letter saying that it's all approved. Your
Okay,
asset management plan is all approved. with that, we do need to have the distribution system materials inventory completed, and Don and I are gonna set up a time to go over that and get that submitted. We've got a lot of the information there, we just need to fill out the DEQ paperwork.
Okay, I have another question
Yep.
too, on, talking about our streets, that the streets are going to be viewed and rated annually for the next 10 years.
That is something, that you're gonna need to do, you know, Don or the DPW can do that. That asset management plan just needs to be updated annually as a part of your budget process. You know, when we resurface a street, we need to update the database to say that it's new instead of in poor shape, so we just need to keep that updated. Are there any other questions?
Something a little off the beaten path there, a county drain that runs along Chesaning Street and Sharon Road.
Yes,
Is that it's an enclosed drain, isn't
yes, that is a tile drain. Yep, it was built in the 1930s.
it? Where does that go? Which side of the road, do you know?
I believe that is on the east side of the road. Don, do you know?
All the way up to up to the lift station?
It crosses the road.
Does it?
It's on the west side, yeah.
Okay.
Does.
Well, it's on, it depends where you're at, some of it's on the east, some of it's on the west. It crosses by the lift station.
Again, a little bit off the beaten path and on a different subject, but our favorite drain down there south of me, or yeah, be south of me, on the right-hand side across the driveway. What is that actually supposed to drain and which way?
Some of it drains south and some of it drains north. It's
Oh, wait a minute. Is that why that seems to come to a peak there and don't have a tile in there?
Where the driveway is for the water tower is kinda like the dividing line.
That's the high point.
That's the high point. The water to the north of that goes north and the water to the south goes south.
Well, according to a resident, he don't think that's a high point. I'm just saying, you know, you know what I'm talking about.
We actually have a laser now, we're gonna, when we get time. we're
That's what I
gonna-
told him we probably end up having to get.
We will go down there and shoot it, and it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well, it looks like just looking at it, it looks that way, but his laser isn't working that way.
everybody's eyeball laser is different.
I guess. Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
But it's been that way since the tower's been built.
Yeah, it's a long time.
If there's no other questions, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and see, I see winter's here in a hurry.
Yeah,
Time to think about Christmas.
No, it's
well,
not.
thank you, John.
So,
It's always
Thanks, John.
time to think about
You're welcome.
Christmas.
No, it's.
No,
if it's okay with you, I'm gonna scoot.
All right, John.
sure.
Neil, thank you very much.
Thanks, John. And Neil.
Enjoy your box.
Be a Christmas present.
Yeah, you just got learned by memory now.
Like a pricey Christmas present.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Council minutes approval, October 9th. Any questions on that? If not, is there a motion to file? Accept?
No, we accept those as
We
ours.
approve.
Yeah.
We approve them, I'm sorry, we approve those.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve, the council minutes. As submitted.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mo- Minutes approved and
Yes,
accepted.
yes.
Commission and committee reports, DDA minutes from November 1st. Any questions on those?
I see that roof is leaking at the Goodrich building. I see they're asking you when it was replaced. I don't remember. I was manager when we did it. So 15, 20 years.
Okay.
They have you doing a lot, don't they? Owie, owie, owie,
Any further questions on the minutes?
I'll make a
Here.
motion to accept and file, all right?
I'll
Thank
second.
you.
File, okay.
All in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Communications, your review magazines. Some interesting reading in there. Anybody have any
We just
comment or
had- Yeah,
criticism?
we just had an update on that retirement thing on Tuesday, and it was kind of odd that, you know, it's in this magazine too. About retirement benefits, health benefits for retirees. Apparently that is per law that you can change the health benefits, that, you know, unless you specifically word it in a contract. I think that we need to take better care of our retirees and do a better job, just because the law says, you know, you can do this, that, or the other. I think we need to take good care of them, and that's just my point in here.
I think we treat them the
Above
same
that.
way as our employees.
Yeah, because that's just, supposed to be something that we promise them, and we need to deliver on that, whether it's contractual or not.
I actually thought that you couldn't give them less than you do your current employees. Or more. You can't give them more than you do your current employees.
The law doesn't consider them an employee anymore, okay?
No,
So-
but MERS,
Yeah,
it's in something.
but I think that we need to take good care of them.
It might be in the health insurance people. They might not insure them for more than what we insure the regular employees for. The insurance company itself. It's in there somewhere. I don't remember why or when.
And I was kind of offended, the magazine acts like women are just becoming involved in politics, you know? And we were talking, you know, we had a female village manager, we had a female clerk for years, you know, we've always had females involved here. So that's not a new thing for us anyway.
I did meet with Amy Schnopel. She's from Combined Insurance, and I'm looking for ways to help our retirees with different options when it comes to prescription drugs and things of the nature that might give them a discount on top of what they already receive. So she's reviewing what we offer, and we're meeting again next week to hopefully we can offer a little bit more.
There's a House bill going in the House of Representatives, you know, where they're going to try, I don't know how far they're gonna get with that, to make prescription drug, you know, drug companies, kind of rein in on their pricing.
It's real nice.
So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you need to call your representative and weigh in on it.
I read today it was stuck, but we'll see.
Any further discussion on the magazine? Articles?
No.
Okay. Payment of claims.
Are there any questions?
No, but I would like to say it's nice to see the total number
Yes, it is.
back up where I like it on the
Yeah.
actual balance, on the account balance report.
I noticed that too.
Uh-huh.
I did too. Good job, Pete.
Yep.
I have a question though. Is this format okay instead of importing it into Excel? This was the BSNA report?
I like this.
I like
Was
it.
this
Yeah.
okay?
I like
Mhm.
it.
This
Okay.
is all right with me.
Okay.
I make a motion, we pay the bills in the sum of $107,000, $392.17.
Support?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. New business, annual surplus policy.
So, we received a letter from the state this week that we are unfunded when it comes to our pension. I called MERS over and over and over and couldn't get a hold of Marnie or Jamie. So I was thinking, I'm going to appeal, what can I use to back it with other than what we already have? Went through a lot of the previous administration's things and found that this is part of the plan. According to 2019, we are supposed to be 59% funded. With the $80,000 into the MERS surplus fund, if we continue to do that, next year we'll be at 62% funded. So that was good information. So this was my backup plan had I not found this information or talked to MERS.
Okay.
So this is good policy for the future. A lot of municipalities, University of Michigan report came out in 2014 about what to do with surplus dollars. 50% of municipalities said they're gonna put it back into infrastructure, which around here, you know, I think Don hears that and gets excited. About 20% were creating surplus policies to cover their pension and OPEB liabilities. Right now, our pension liability is about $1.7 million. But we should be 100% funded by 2030 if we continue on this path. So this was my weight to the state to show them that we're making changes. You can pass it if you'd like. We could put a sunset on it for 3 years to see where we are, or 1 year, see where we are a year from now.
This is the 50, 25, 25.
Yep, and the key I want you to look at is in the first, in the procedure, the second line. The budget surplus would first be used to correct any government fund deficit. So
Okay.
really, we cover our own tails first, then anything after that, then we would look at protecting the future liabilities. So something I put together quickly, having not talked to MERS. It's something for you to discuss, consider. I'm open, I'm good either way. I feel a lot better after Marnie called, she was traveling, so it sounds like.
One of us, I remember this. He said we would be just at 59% this
Yep.
year, and then we'd jump above the next year.
Yeah, I
Um,
wasn't too worried about it.
No, I wasn't either when I read it, but it's not a bad idea because we do have, I mean, I know we don't have money everywhere, but we have a nice surplus of money set aside. I don't know why we need to build that more and more if we're gonna take care of the water and the sewer on its own. I think it might be a good idea to try this, maybe even like, Hart said, for 3 years and see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
See
sounds
if it-
like
I
a good
agree.
idea.
See if
yeah.
it pulls us out quicker.
we're doing all right now.
Yeah, we're doing fine right
Yeah.
now, and we can always undo it if we find
Yep.
out it's not going well,
Agree.
you know, so,
And I should say, according to MERS, we are funded at 62%.
Yeah.
According to the state's changes with this new Treasury office, we're at 59.1.
okay, but we'll be back above the 59
We
next
should be
year.
back next year.
With the other things we put in place last year.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
but I still think it wouldn't hurt to do this.
I think it's a good
I
idea
do too.
too.
Yeah, I like it.
Maybe
If we have, if we put
Yeah.
the sunset on it, then we can review it after that period.
I don't know if I'd go half a quarter, maybe it should be more like half to us and a quarter to the other two,
Yeah,
you know?
I don't wanna overdo it.
Yeah, you know, do 25%, and then 50% back to us.
Absolutely feel very comfortable with that.
Okay,
So we're gonna change that then, right?
do you want me to make a motion?
Yeah,
I make a motion that we, set up a policy that puts half of our, what is it? It's our surplus. Half of our surplus into the village funds and a quarter each into the unfunded liability at MERS and the OPEB liabilities, which are the medical ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, Jenny?
I'll support
Do
that.
you wanna put a
Support for
sunset
that.
on it?
Yeah, let's do it for 3 years.
To be reviewed?
Do you think 3 years to look at it again?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fine with it.
that's long enough to let it try.
Mm-hmm.
I support that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So I will admit, this is a policy I put in place as administrator in a previous location, but they were 26 million unfunded, so.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit more.
So you, when I was like, well, I don't feel terrible, but when the state tells you that you're neglecting, I feel, or underfunded, I get a little worried, but,
So at 26 million,
yeah,
what
Yeah.
was their percentage?
they were at 62, so they're fine.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
It's just a bigger place.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and then you look at MERS, you know, their valuations that were been set at 8% for decades,
And we know that's gonna
and
change.
the return's been 4%.
Yeah,
That's gonna change
So
to
they-
suit their own needs.
Well, yeah, so they knocked
Well-
it down to 7.75% for us.
well, yeah, and when I was, doing it, before I was even manager, they were telling us to stop paying because we were way overfunded. And we never did stop. We just kept throwing it in there because then they got a new actuarial. That's a big problem too. This is- Actuary makes it all different.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Verizon phone.
Yes, so we met with some Verizon representatives and kind of just to hear them out, but we went through our inventory and we have too many phones. We have two at Marguerite's desk. We have one at the barn that I don't believe gets used. So just trying to look for ways to save dollars, and they happen to have, we got government pricing through My Deal. These T41s are free after the government discount, so that's the $85 phone. And then the T46s, which is the $145 phone, they're going as $60. So I thought the chief needed a really nice phone where he can see what's going on. I thought Marguerite needed one, and I thought myself needed one. So 3 of those, and then 3 of the T41s, which would be free for Jenny, Mr. Kehoe, and then the back police. This includes an extra line, so
What does he get?
so he gets an app where if he calls out, it shows that he's calling from the village office, so he's just not getting on his personal cell phone number, but it would forward right to their 24 on-call phone. So we're not adding anything there yet. We might look at Wi-Fi or a boost pack out there. But at 5 o'clock, we will have our own voice answer machine that if it's an emergency, we get rid of the old voice. If it's emergency, call 911. If you need the police, here's what you do. If it's DPW, and it would go to their on-call phone. And if it's a message for one of us, it'd be a message. So again, it should be about a $136 per month saving.
I think, yeah, that's
Sounds
good.
good.
Yeah.
Nothing like a new phone to play with.
Maybe,
Trying
to
figure out.
maybe get the message changed.
Yeah, I
you
couldn't figure out how to change the message, so I went for all new phones.
We all three of us tried multiple times, and it's like,
Your
we
temporary
hear our
message.
voice, but then when somebody else calls, so we can change it on the computer, it's nice.
Okay.
Hardwire or voice?
These are voice over IP.
They're the same that you have at the fire department, the voice over on that.
Is there a motion to go ahead with these new phones?
I make a motion, we change to this phone system.
Support. Oh, go ahead.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Your new phones and saving money at the same time, that's
It's a no-brainer.
Motion carried. Next item is the Verizon Fleet Management.
So as our cars are aging and our fleets are getting older, this is another thing that they offer, kind of a preventative maintenance program where it'll tell us, you hook it into the car, it tells us when to get oil changes, when the last oil change was, tire rotation. If some accident happens, 4 times a year we get a free pickup from their service. And I mentioned, what if it's a dump truck? What are you going to bring to come haul us? And he said, well, we have school buses in this program, so if we can get a school bus, we'll get your dump truck. But I'm just looking at preventative maintenance as our aging fleet is ongoing. It's $19 a month per car, should we want to move forward.
And we have how many cars?
I think we should pilot it out for 2 cars to start, to see if this is something we really want to move forward. There's no contract, I can end it at any time.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Will this include the police department also?
I would probably choose one of their cars and a DPW car.
Does this device also show location and stuff too?
It does do that.
Monitored, available to monitor from where? In the office here? or-
Yep.
Okay.
And it tells you driver safety, how they drive. A lot of companies are doing this for their employees, their sales employees who travel. When your guy says he's in Lansing at 7 a.m. and you can see that he's not there, or he's going 85, you can call him and say, hey, why don't you slow down? But
Why don't you call the nearest county?
yeah, miles driven, things of that nature, fuel consumption. So when it comes to budget time, we can look at, what kind of gas and oil do we need to really budget for.
Yeah, I think it's good for a trial. I think it's all right, yeah.
I hear a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Old business, AKT Peerless Invoices.
I sent an email with the information from AKT and what they saw, they were billing us for. The original contract was $95,500, and we're now approaching about $150,000. So it's way over, but, the project's almost done, they still have to put the fan in. Haven't heard from Carl in a couple days, so, unfortunately, we do owe them this money based on the services they provided. It just stinks that the original amount budgeted for compared to where we are now.
So where will the extra money come from then?
General fund.
That's a
The
great
general
question. That's a great question.
Wait as long as we have to wait for them.
Some of it is the grant money that we received, and we're hoping that will cover it. That's the money that we originally thought we were gonna pay for the parking lot with, the extra dollars. Now it's looking like we might end up with about 8,000 when we were hoping for about 30,000 extra. So it is grant money, but, or the loan, I should say, from, the Goldworks Fund.
But like you said, we gotta pay it anyways. It just hurts no matter where it comes
Yeah,
from.
that extra tons of dirt for the Outback really hurt us.
I just was not too thrilled with that company, and I think if we ever are looking at any place, we don't want them to do it again, you know.
Well, that's for certain.
So, but, yeah, this is,
Gotta pay, you gotta pay.
yeah.
I'd rather people bid high than low.
Right.
Yeah.
That's disappointment anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion on this? Okay.
Do
Next,
we need
I
to approve the extra money?
Yes.
need a motion to do that.
How much is the extra money?
How much extra did you say, Art?
I'm trying to get the email I sent right now. So the activity associated with invoice number 56188 dated August 31st was $20,185. This is the invoice number 56497 dated September 30th, 2019 in the amount of $109,014.08. And that was for the actual excavation activities, included oversight and subcontractor expenses. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
So that is the.
So the total is 109,000. Is that the amount that we went over?
Not necessarily, no. That, we're over, the 95,500 was that, so we're over about almost 10,000.
Okay.
Okay.
How much?
10,000.
Oh, we'll see.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's,
because,
and again, that's not including the fan to be put in yet,
right,
Yeah.
or the parking lot,
or the parking lot to be completed,
or the painting.
correct?
You anything else?
So what is it, yeah,
Yeah, so how do we approve this? How do we,
I don't know, we approved to pay the overage. Do you think that'll work?
I think you can go with the invoice number for the amount,
We're gonna pay the 109, 114.08, we're gonna approve
109,
that.
1408.
Okay,
No,
I
but
make,
that doesn't include the 20 though, does it?
but
I think so, because total due, this invoice is after the other invoice.
I believe you, did you approve the previous 20,000
Yeah.
at the last meeting?
See,
or no?
this one is
Did we
September
hold them
18th.
both? Did we table them
Right,
both?
we're
I think
not
we
doing
tabled
that.
them.
We tabled them
September
both?
20th.
Yeah.
So we will need to approve both.
all right.
You don't.
Okay, wait a minute,
It's
she's
not.
right, I don't see it here, well, you don't
This
see
was
any of it,
Yeah.
it's all in there. Is there a
Yeah.
previous thing?
Yeah, the one behind it.
This is not for this.
Yeah, I
These
know,
came
but
at
that's
separate
the other amount.
So I
Those are-
think we owe both of them.
Yep, those are the two invoices
We
that
owe
we
the two
tabled.
together.
We tabled to get the answer and explanation from Carl.
Okay, so it's, we have to pay
Yeah.
129,000 plus.
29,000.
Yeah, 129, yeah,
Okay, so there's something.
21.
It's gonna be a lot
Oh,
over
8
80,000.
plus.
And then 20,185 and 72 cents.
129, 199 and 80 cents.
How much, 129?
129.
129, 199, 80 cents.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, we pay the invoice in the amount of 129, 199, whatever the cents are.
80 cents.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Not happy.
Motion carried.
ever say when they're gonna come put that fan in or?
No.
Not happy at all.
You know,
No,
he,
we've
that
already
was
done it
a couple
once.
weeks ago that he's talking about he's gonna be right in touch, and then
He doesn't do that.
I hit him
okay?
up for the donation for the Christmas parade and haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
Well, we did receive a donation for $250 bucks.
Nice.
Is this, important, we pay it instantly, or can we say, well, when you get the fan in, you'll get it all? Is that possible or not good?
Just tell him to do it with the regular billing cycle,
Yeah.
whatever that
I'm
means.
trying to, I know.
Once a year.
Next budget
Next
season.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to pay that?
Yeah.
Find us in May.
We'll pay you as fast as it took you to do it.
We can always tell him we're working on that. And,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Like, oh, it got lost in the mail.
Can't we take as long as it took them to do the job and get them out here?
He was slow.
Probably doesn't work that way.
Moving on, resolution 1921, resolution to approve Michigan Waste Authority's agreements with American Waste Incorporated and Waste Management Recycle America.
Went to the meeting, as I forwarded you on, all the municipalities approved it. There was some talk about others wanting to get out, but they all eventually said yes. This new company seems to do a much better job of recycling, and I'm very excited about that. They will take anything.
Well, St. Charles Township opted out of the recycling,
Did they?
and I have been bombarded by people. How would they do that? I said, why don't you go ask them? Tommy Sargent didn't like the idea of the new recycling company using the glass to make roads. I thought, who cares?
Yeah,
It's recycled.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is some people don't like that. I think it's a great idea to repurpose it.
I think it's great. That's the whole idea behind recycling.
Right.
Just like that rubber,
Yeah.
putting that in the asphalt, good idea. For years, we've never been able to get rid of the tires. They chopped them up into everything else, and maybe chop them up on the highway.
Well, I've always been for recycling, so does anybody else have any questions?
That'll be
So now we'll be
good.
able to do
Yeah,
glass
it's
again,
more,
right?
And we can put glass
Yeah.
back in there again,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
there's
put
a lot
anything
more.
into that, fantastic.
Everything goes in one container and
Awesome.
Doesn't have to be cleaned, doesn't have to be,
No, you don't have to wash it.
so it's the same way it used to be. I make a motion, we pass resolution 19-21.
I'll second.
Is there support?
Lois.
I did.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call, I believe.
Yep.
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coots,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes,
Richard Horner,
Yes.
Jim McPhail,
yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
and Sarah Tiley.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Departmental reports, DPW report. Any questions of Don?
did you get your routine mowing done?
Till the snow started flying.
You know, we were all sad because we didn't get our lease rates up either here at the cottage before the snow fell. we were looking at snow in everybody's yard when we came home from home, like everybody's got leaves underneath
Yeah.
the snow.
Mhm.
And on top now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the snow took a lot of the oak leaves down.
Oh, it's just like, holy moly, yeah.
Yeah, with the heavy snow.
I'll help insulate the soil.
It'll melt and we'll get another.
It'll be
opportunity.
fine.
Yeah, yep. You sure you will now?
As far as the parking lot paving, Don, you wanna tell them
Yeah,
what
they,
Prios did for us?
they bid it at 120 ton for the parking lot, and they actually put down 160 ton. And they stayed at their original bid price.
Oh, they did?
Wow.
Not
How
terms.
nice
That's a
is
big
that?
savings.
Yeah.
I just got the invoice
We,
today.
we got all of our 3 inches worth,
Okay, good.
but they did probably do it at the last day, at the last hour.
They did. I mean, yeah.
Couldn't get it done, so, I mean, they did a decent job, and if there's any issues, they stand behind their words.
Okay.
Good.
I'm disappointed they don't have a
Did
line
we-
on it yet.
Yeah, I thought we were going to redo the way it came up to the building to run off. Are we still gonna do that with the,
We actually put a new drainage line up along the
Okay.
building there, so there should be no more water.
coming
along
into the building?
And then it is actually sloped kind of to the middle each way to that catch basin, so,
Okay,
hopefully we've eliminated any water coming in John's office anymore. So,
okay.
and we tied in the downspouts to the tile too, so.
Did you notice that a lot of people in town are raking their leaves out to the road and just walking away?
We
I
give
mean,
them,
Woodlawn looks that way.
we give them back to them yesterday.
Okay.
Spread them a little bit too.
You did plow nice. It's all clean again and
It looks dirty, though.
I don't know why they're doing that. They never used to do that before. They just
And I
raked
don't
them
know
down
how-
and left
I
them.
don't know how you stop it.
I know one thing, we're getting a lot of, I've heard of a lot of discussion about people would like to go back to burning. No, I'm just saying. They
There's a
like,
problem with that.
they like the smell of it.
Well, just have them walk outside the village. They're burning a lot out there.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is, cause, and even the sweeper, it doesn't like leaves either.
No.
It's not, so, we have no ability to pick them up.
What do they have an actual vacuum that when they, like Midland, right?
Some of them have a mechanical sweeper that will actually, that doesn't run off air, but ours runs off air, and they plug up the
Yeah.
springs
Yeah.
and like what's working.
Does it just blow them back in their yard though, rather than pick it up?
It can if you lift the head out. The old one used to do a lot better job of that.
Okay. Well, we did talk a couple times about getting a leaf back, but it's a lot of money for very little time that it's
Right.
used.
I mean, there's a lot of people that do a good job too. but the few
They do.
That don't.
And they bag them and put them out and,
This is not leaves, but did the town clock get turned back? Okay, I wondered about that, one day it wasn't. And I like when you turn into Frank's parking lot supermarket, you took that one big bush out, cause you couldn't really see if a car was coming down Bell, so that's a good thing too.
Yeah, we have had several complaints on that, so.
You couldn't really see.
A lot of that landscaping's met its age limit too, so.
oh, it's big now compared to when we put it in there.
So in the future, we might wanna look at doing some different landscaping on the islands. And pear trees are probably as large as they, we did trim them actually.
Yeah.
This summer they were trimmed, but
Yeah,
that's about all you can do with them.
they're
They
gonna
just
get
get
thinner and
old.
thinner the more you trim them, it's gonna look like a post out there pretty soon.
It's a stop.
Yeah,
But probably looking at removing and putting some new stuff in there.
yeah.
And then by the Secretary of State, Art and I have been having some discussions, we're gonna re-landscape that too, with the new light poles going. That little area between the MDOT parking lot and East Bell, where we tore out all the old brush and shrubs,
Okay.
Labor style ten parks of trucks.
Where the Christmas tree used to be.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
No,
No?
there was couches underneath that. Kids had a fort built in.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But we're looking at doing some landscaping there and kind of put a couple tables there for people. I know that a businesses that express want to have a place to go take a break or whatever.
Okay.
So, once we get our lighting all situated, we'll landscape it in the spring. Talking about moving the dumpsters on the south side of the parking lot too, so
Okay, that'll look better.
trying to clean it up.
How's the roof on the pavilion, look pretty good?
What they got done does, they have all the sheeting on it and the ice guard with the steel and roof trim and stuff.
But that sat there a long time and they didn't do anything to it.
They've been, you know, how contractors do.
Yes, I do.
But they haven't received a penny yet, so,
Okay.
Obviously, they may not finish until spring, huh?
no, they're playing that.
Oh, they'll finish.
They'll finish.
That's gonna melt.
Sure they want their money.
Well, I hope so.
When they want to be paid, it will be finished.
Well, it's hard to do that kind of thing in this kind of weather.
The snow-
That's why they should have done it when it was nice.
Yeah, we don't make their schedule. It'll be nice, they're doing it right, it's all new sheeting, all new stuff.
Any other questions of Don? If not, let's move on to the police department report. Anybody got any questions on the new police department report?
What's a slumper?
Someone,
Someone that passes out in the car.
Oh, okay. I wondered what that was. Like, we never realized that slumper.
Supposed to get them on night shift, don't be drunk and they'll stop at the stoplight, pass out right there at the foot of the brake. Don't get that on day shift too much.
Police are not moving anyway.
Right.
That's
The, the pursuit was short.
and then you stop them when they wake up. I wasn't doing that.
I know.
No, you weren't.
How are you feeling?
Good,
Yeah, I hear you were in an accident
yes,
yesterday.
right at Baumgartner and 52, my nice Denali is no more.
It looked pretty rough
Real?
when I went past.
Yeah, a kid just lost, kid lives over on West Walnut, he just goes a little bit too fast and, I'm going south in the town, he's coming north and I see him truck to go sideways, like, what's going on up there? And he kind of righted himself and then they just went, like he was turning left in front of me, he went sideways in front of me and I tried to go in the ditch and I didn't make it and I hit him broadside.
Oh, that's too
First
bad.
time getting hit by an airbag, it's quite an experience.
Is it? I hear it is, yes.
They're
Was
pretty
everybody
painful.
okay then?
Yeah, just some bruises, not much, but,
I think probably from the airbag.
Yeah.
never wanna do that again.
Nope.
Yep.
Hope not.
Especially your nice Denali.
Right.
Yeah, your new car, your new truck.
Do you have an old truck you could have been driving instead?
No,
No?
we got an Equinox leasing and stuff.
Okay.
I have to have a 2500, so we're searching for, we're looking for a new truck to pull my RV with.
Okay.
Any other
Trucks don't
questions
feel too
of
bad.
the chief and assistant? Building inspector report, none, and no code enforcement. Speaking of code enforcement, do we have the code enforcement officer?
Well, it goes between Rob and the chief most days.
So, what are we doing on this wonderful house on Flint Street again? It's nice and dirty.
We keep finding them, Rob keeps going after them. And then they clean up for a day and then
Yeah.
back to where it
Trashed again.
was.
You wonder how they get it like that in a
Stuff so
day or two.
fast.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
noticed we have
why-
another
how
house
they
on
get
Bell
something-
boarded up.
Mm.
I haven't.
Yeah, it's a
What's that
small
question?
little green wooden sided house. And the
Oh, on
windows
Bell
are all
Avenue?
boarded up.
Belongs to
I
people in
noticed.
Elma.
I noticed it yesterday.
Yeah, they put boards over the windows now. The house has, I don't think it can be
Right?
made really livable.
I'll
I
look
don't
into it.
think I've seen anybody even ever there.
Well, the guy died,
Yeah,
and
but
they
even just
never,
stopping
they,
in there. or
they tried to
anything.
sell it, and I think Sam was still alive at the time, and, he went through it and he says they deemed it as not
It looks rough.
rehabitable.
Yeah, it looks rough.
Green?
It's like a
Pums
mint
isn't
greenish
green.
almost
Link-
color.
link-
It's got
There.
wood, like the wooden siding.
there.
That's what I'm trying to think,
By where? Which way from the doctor's office?
across the road, down,
It's just
can't
past
think which
water.
way, man, you go by it every day and don't you know?
Pung?
It's right at the foot of Lake
Tom's
Street,
house doesn't even stand up. I mean, it's barely standing.
Yeah, and the windows are all boarded up.
it's right at the end of Lake Street on Bell.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we can't get rid of them.
As you come to the dead end where
Yeah.
Standing Go lives in there, it's two houses to the right.
Isn't
Okay.
that the
And the driveway.
Isn't that house built in the middle of a lot line?
Yes.
Didn't we look at that?
we talked about that and no one would buy it.
No, well, they had somebody who was gonna buy it, but they were told they couldn't remodel it,
And they
or
could
make
never build
it
on it.
livable.
It's not on a lot. It's in between two lots, somehow or other.
There's no driveway, in fact,
We were offered that house, the village was.
Yeah,
We turned it down, we should have
but
taken
it
it.
belongs to somebody in Elmar or somewhere.
How
in
much
that
does it
area.
cost to tear that down?
It looks rough.
About 10 grand.
yeah. Look at that little house that's,
Hal looked into that at one
Yeah.
time.
right
I'd
on
like to
down
know
there.
again.
It's nasty.
Wasn't it
We couldn't
$10,000
get
to
rid
tear
of
it down?
that.
I think that's what he
I
said,
think if you
yeah.
push it
that was
hard,
years
it'll go
ago.
over.
It will,
Yeah,
Then you just have to
but
pick
it's,
up
it's
the
useless
stuff.
and ugly sitting there.
and,
You
and it looks
So,
even worse
I think
now
we're
that the
gonna have to
windows are
make the
boarded.
effort to do something with
They,
it.
they shouldn't have lived there when they were
Yeah.
alive. So,
I bet we could find someone who.
Right.
The guy's name was
Yeah.
Link or something.
Link,
Cause once that's gone, then we can.
John and
just
Judy
get
Pung
rid
is
of
who
it.
used to live there.
Who?
John and Judy Pung?
That's it, Pump. He was the last owner of, and he,
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Mhm.
and the relation that owns it lives over in,
It was up for taxes, so it must still be
Yep.
up for taxes somewhere.
cause some people I know from down by, this had Chesney, were gonna buy it, and he had the deal all set up, and then they were told it couldn't be rehabilitated, so.
It's not rehabitable and it's not a big enough lot to build on.
No, there's no driveway on either side of it.
Yep.
I remember Hal trying to get the neighbor to buy that lot.
Yeah.
They were
trying to
going
work
to
But
he
the
got
neighbor
arrested.
did not want to spend the money to tear it down.
No, but if we would tear it down and just split it and give it to them and walk
Right,
away, it'd
that's
be
what I'm-
gone.
It would, it's an eyesore
Mhm.
and it's just gonna get worse.
It's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah.
Good action. You wanna look at that,
Yeah.
okay. Do I hear, do we have to file and accept and file those? All the reports?
No,
Just the, all done.
public comment.
Any comments again? 3 minutes.
We'll take that now. For a nice, short meeting, I'd like to make a motion off the floor to adjourn.
Oh,
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
I support.
Those of you that are here, make sure you sign in wherever, or in the
Always-
meeting.
Aye.
Motion
I don't
carried.
think it